So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live people having a natter in chat. I've found, well, my hubby found, I knew I'd painted this particular canvas, which lengthways is it about 15 by 15, I think, maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 by 20 probably. And this one is actually, a bought, oh, I can't put that down now, a bought canvas. And they've been out in the sheds, in the studio sheds. So I want to get back to painting. That's basically what I want to do. I want to get back to being a proper artist again. I'm getting a bit fed up now. And I'm going to do it before my hands get too bad. So I said to my husband, oh, will you go and pick out some paintings that I did and see if you could find this one? And he came back with this one. So I can't honestly remember painting this one. It's obviously the same books, and I've been playing around with composition. But I've actually made this canvas. So this is like a calico, by a special calico. And then you prime it or size it, depending on how you want to be, what you want to see. It's normally rabbit skin, but I couldn't do that. So I use just gesso, but you can make your own gesso. I probably used, in fact, I did use white glue, white PVA glue and water, because that's what we use as students. So I thought I would maybe get this pile of books out again and paint them, or maybe paint them from a photograph, because I did take a lot of photographs. And I love the books. They're my mum's old gardening books and my great aunt's from 1911, her school books. And they have still got some wonderful covers on them. They're still in fairly decent condition, but of course they're old and they're mottled and kind of a bit grubby. And some have got pages that are missing. Some have got dog-eared at the end. This one, I love this one. It's really kind of dog-eared and there's a bit of a page sticking out and scruffy on the edges. I think this one's the doctor's one, which is kind of really bashed at the edges. And then if you look at this one, that's the back of it. The spine's fallen off, and that's the one I painted with the dog hair by accident. So I want to try and get back to painting again if I can. So you can either paint on a bought canvas, and hubby's brought one up which is quite a cheap nasty one, and it's been damaged, so I might just use that just as a practice, just to practice some thumbnails, to have a bit of a play. And I will be using water-based oils. So I've set up the camera on the other side on a tripod. So I have a white draftsman's desk with a big light across the top, which I tilt this way when I work here, and I tilt the other way when I'm at my desk, which I've never been at since I moved it there. So I've had the camera on the tripod, I've had the laptop at the other side, and hopefully I can get a seat there and because I'd have to sit down, and I'm going to paint something about this size. So it's about 20 by 20, depending on what size canvas I have, and I will be doing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this, not sure if it's okay. I would probably not even use gesso. I will probably just use I'll seal it with PVA glue like I did as a student, because I'm not going to be selling any of these. Nobody wants to buy a pile of books. I never sell my work ever. So I thought that might be quite interesting. And I will be using oils, but to start with, until the nice weather when I can get outside, I will be using my water-based oils. And the ones I use are from Winsor & Newton, and it's called Artisan. So I'm going to put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing now. So just shut that for a second. And hopefully everything is in the correct place. Oh, that was quite good. I'll just check and see that. So if you've got any questions, pop them in caps. think I'm zoomed out as much as I can. So this is called Winsor Newton Artisan Water Mixable Fast Drying Oil Medium. This is the thinner. So although you can use a drop of water, if you're going to use very thin oils, you need the proper thinner, because the way it works they are exactly the same as oil paints, but they have a binder to them, and this binder that they add allows water to mix with the oil. So you've got the same pigment, and there's a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of tests that they do. And so you've got an oil paint in a tube, and you've got an oil paint in a tube which has a binder, the same binder. So they're both oil paints, and then they've combined some kind of chemical to the oil that mixes and allows water to be mixed with it. So you don't have any smelly terps. Now these are a little bit smelly, but that one's odorless. That's very, very tiny. It's just like olive oil maybe smelling. There's hardly any smell, which is brilliant if you've got asthma. And I bought them because I wanted to paint. I mean, these I've had. I mean, this is probably gone now, but she's 26, and when she was a baby, I bought these when I did my degree. So these are 5 years old. But most of them, that's for proper oil paints, but it's the same stuff. It's when I went to live in Spain, that one. So this is Winsor Newton Damar varnish, and that's for oils. This is acrylic. Oh, it's acrylic medium. So you have to bear with me. I've been. That's refined linseed oil. Just bear with me. There's all sorts of it in here. That's linseed oil. So I've actually got them all together. So what's that one? Oh, that says Winsor Newton. Oh, watercolor prepared size. Oh, okay then. So when you're sealing your canvases, it's called sizing. I think. I'm pretty sure it is, but my brain's a bit ugh. So if you want the water soluble, water mixable with the Artisan, that's the one you want. Oh, sorry, Artisan. So this means a blob of this, which doesn't look particularly very nice now. It smells okay. It's probably dried up. It comes out like a gum. It comes out like oil varnish. That's linseed oil. I did have some mixables. I'm probably going to buy some more. Oh, that's gum arabic. I don't know what I'm doing with that. I needed some of that actually for something else. Right, so I've got fast driving medium, and I've got some huge ones of this, and I've got thinner. So really you only need those two. They do a linseed oil, water mixable linseed oil, but I don't know where that is. It's probably in the box. So I'll get these oil paints out so you can have a look at them. I could work over that canvas actually. That I cannot do, so I need to get it all organized. I think I should have left the camera at the top. Oops, no, that'll be fine. So just decide which one they are. So this is why I want to be more organised. So that's got oils in it. And some of these oil paints I've had since the 60s. They belong to my mum. So that means this has got my acrylics in it. So this big boy here is an ordinary toolbox, which I took to Spain with me. In fact, I tell a lie. Right. So in here should be all my artisans paints. So I knew I had some more of this. So this is fast drying medium. This is stand oil, but it's for water mixable. So if you want that gorgeous glossy layers, the fast drying medium, that's thinner. That's another stand oil, but there's not much left of it. That's sand oil. Which one's that one? And that's an oil painting medium, water mixable. There's lots of different variations, like there is in proper. There's linseed oil. So depending on, there's lots of different oils as well, which I'll probably go through, even though these are for, and that's a linseed. Artisan used to have the glass jars, and I think recently they've gone to plastic. That's the difference. I think this needs to be in a smaller box, really, because I can't manage this. It is a treasure box, isn't it? Actually, I think the Gum Arabic can. I don't know, because I don't do pencils, Suzanne. Sorry about that. I don't do pencils. All these are water mixable, but that's why I've got the Gum Arabic. I remember you can mix it with something, but I can't remember what it is. It could possibly be pastel. But when I go through, a bit earlier I was going through what I was going to do with this section, why is this kind of come about. Most of these are, sorry, it's my fault, I put that against the door. Stop the rats back. No, I'm still live, darling. Yes. So when you can buy this set, it's about £20, and you get my favourite. You do get the cadmium orange hue, but you normally get a lemon yellow, a cadmium yellow, a permanent alizarin crimson, and you get where's she gone? A cadmium red hue. This is in the set. Now that's an impasto, so I bought lots of that by accident. I don't know why I was buying that, but it's still squashable, and I haven't used it for about 10 years, so it's going quite well. In the set, and you get a brown, I think. I always have raw umber and burnt umber, which is the dark one. There's a Payne's grey there, lamp black, and then I've got French ultramarine, and my blues are here, so there should be a cerulean blue somewhere. But because I was doing my degree, I bought lots of odd ones. So this one is a Duo Aqua Oil, and that's titanium white. I thought I'd try that, but you get two whites. Again, you get titanium and zinc. So again, like acrylic, your zinc white is cheaper. It's for mixing, and your titanium, which is also called permanent, I think, that's the one for your highlights and for your whites. But the zinc white is cheaper and it's not as opaque, so you use that one for mixing. And I think that's the same in what's this huge oh god, there we are, impasto, huge tube of impasto. That's for if you want to make to build it up. But when we talk about layers, I like to do layers, and somewhere in there, this is one of my original, see how squashy it is, an original Winsor Newton, and that's from the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s. It was from my mum's, and it's been in a tin in the dark, perfectly okay. Oil paint. Keep them in the tin in the dark, and they're perfectly okay. Phthalo blue is the one I'm looking for, and it has that colour top, which is why I'm looking for it. I might play with impasto actually. I've never played with it before. I'm just looking for my phthalo blue. And then you get a black and a white. And so again, you know, this is the perfect colour combination with these, with a red, alizarin crimson and a cadmium red. And alizarin crimson is a little bit pinkier. It's a reddier one. It's a more kind of, it's the warmest, pinkiest pink. Rose is in the middle, but you know that's the best combination for reds. And then, as I say, I can't find. There's quite a few. There's a phthalo there. That must have been in the set. French ultramarine, and I can't find my blue. Should be there somewhere. I should have at least two because I have a new set. There we go, cerulean blue. So those 6 colours will make you every brown and every colour on the planet, but it does help to have another couple, and they do put them in there, and they put black and white. Again, quick drying medium gloss. I must have used that for my degree as well. I don't think I could use those bits up. They seem to be quite runny still. So you use, I'll probably start the series off going through all the different materials. I'm going to get all these out of here because I really don't want these in here. I did, because I can't manage them, so it's ridiculous. And then we can have an indoor toolbox then, and it's something less for me to mess about with. So I'll go through all the colours that I've got. It's always handy to have them, but I think the basic set is about £20, and I think it's got 8 colours, 8 to 10 colours. There's black and white. I think there's a brown, there's a green, and there's 2 blues, 2 reds, and 2 yellows. The warm and the cold. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'll get rid of this big ugly thing here that had all my art supplies in it. So as a student and always since an artist, always the best thing is a toolbox for whichever size of things you have. It's just easier to carry. It's It's designed to carry heavy things. Yeah, it's just me. Ugh, dog hairs. Dog hairs everywhere. Yeah, may I have a coffee, darling, please? I'm gasping, thank you. So what I intend to do is these things, these different solutions, or whatever you want to call them. Don't know where the big one's gone now. The impastos and all the things that you can mix with the oil colour, I'm going to go through. And a good little book this is a good little book here, The Complete Oil Painter, that I picked up for 50p. And again, that's in the series. So this series is going to be all about, there's 12 series of series, if that's, so once a week there will be a video going out on colour. But this particular one is all going to be about, just trying to find what I'm looking for. This is going to be a live art show. So I'll be doing oil painting, acrylics and watercolours to paint along. Almost like a paint along on a live show. So that's probably going to be a Thursday. I was trying to find about oils and things. So bear with me. And then I was going to do the colour book flips as well. The colour flips. This might be another one. I use this one a lot as well. So there's priming, underpainting, and this is quite an old one. So you can use wood, plywood, paper, compressed board, cardboard. I think I used hardboard on mine. Mounting on textiles, making a canvas. So I won't be able to do this because my hands just won't do it, but I can have a bit of a talk about it. And as I want my daughter to make one because as an artist, once she's made one, what I was looking for is consistency of paint, thin paint textures, impasto and glazes, range of colours, the palette layout, painting, underpainting, what I need to artist supplies and equipment, so it might tell you what things are. So this is for grinding your own colour, which is what I intended to do, and then my hands just, I cannot do that. You've got to grind them to a dust. It tells you about the layout of the palette. So you start with flake white or titanium white, and flake white is also zinc white, I think. Cadmium yellow, golden ochre, cadmium red. They don't put another red, but I would have one. French ultramarine, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, viridian, cobalt green, and black. But I would think I would like a pinky red. But of course, pinks didn't fit. I've got to be a bit careful because it's an oil painting. So if you were doing this is when you've primed it, you put a colour over it. So I want to go through it all in stages, if that makes any difference. So that's going to be all about the kind of brushes you use for different things. So when I was talking about oil paints, you talk about oil painting brushes. When you're talking about watercolour, I'll go through the watercolour brushes, and when I'm talking about acrylics, I use both for each. Depends what mood I'm in. If I'm doing a very big painting in acrylics, then I use my oil painting brushes. If I'm using my a small miniature, then I'll use my other brushes. And then this is about is that alkyds, this one? So that's the other thing I wanted to do, is to talk about my books, go through the books I have. And again, that will be another video once a week. So the main thing is, I just can't put my hand on my oil painting. Thank you, darling. In my oil painting, so the first one, and what I'll do is I'll probably put a quick video out about what I'm going to be using, and so anybody wants to paint along with me could do that. But the first one will be preparing a canvas, and obviously then what I'm going to use, because when we start to paint, it's going to be primed, it's going to be sealed. I'll just probably use glue and water, and it'll be a cheap bought canvas, it won't be a made one. I do have some of those, but I'll keep that for next time. And I'm going to go through all these different things that you want to use as we're going to use them. I think I used the stand oil because it's what I wanted the best. And it's quite funny because some oils make them slow drying, and then I've got fast drying medium as well. So it was a balancing act when I was doing my degree, I have to say. So I'm going to go through all the differences and what you can get away with and what you need. I would only have one. I would, and I think I chose the stand oil rather than linseed, because linseed made things a little bit, if I remember rightly, linseed is slow drying, and of course we want to speed it up. So when you've put a drop of this and a drop of oil with your oils, they become very, very kind of what we call watery. So I made, and it makes a perfect glaze. So I work in glazes. And then you use, if you're going to be very thin, you want the thinner. So I would just have the fast dry medium, and the diluted one is quite good. But if you want an oil, the stand oil, which is that one. So I've got quite a lot of things to use. I don't need to buy anything. And if you want to use oils, you can, and you've got oils and you want to use oils, then I do have my oil paints. Oops. Now I will be using these because I've got quite an array of them. I've got quite a lot of to use. And some of these are quite obscure colours as well, so of course I want to get rid of them. These are big ones. So I'm going to use one of those trays that I had, and I've got to rearrange all my supplies because I cannot get to them. So this is going to be, this was supposed to be a quick video on getting ready for a new series of live paint-alongs. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching.